Welcome 7th graders to your Rube Goldberg project. This is task number 1 that this video will explain, and it's going to be going over the design notebook that you're using for the Rube Goldberg, but also what you need to do, which is vocabulary definition. So there's quite a few of them dealing with the simple machines and vocabulary that you're going to be using for this project. Now, if you don't know what a Rube Goldberg is yet, don't worry, that is your central question for today, so hopefully we can have that answered by the end of task number 1. This is a small sample of one, but if you look up a few videos, hopefully you'll be able to see what a Rube Goldberg is. So if you look at your design notebook under task number 1, notice first there are 6 tasks in total, and then when you get to task number 5, you are going to have 4 class periods to be building your Rube Goldberg in a group. So you need to make sure you have task 1, 2, 3, and 4 completed before you get to task number 5. So for task number 1, it's knowing that background information with vocabulary words. And the first 6 words here, pulley, screw, lever, wedge, inclined plane, and wheel and axle, those 6 of them are called simple machines. And you're going to be using those 6 simple machines in your Rube Goldberg. And so to do that, you obviously have to know what is it, what are examples. So for all of these, remember you're going to look up a definition, a picture of one, an example, and a non-example. So as you go through this, obviously you can look them up, but don't just copy and paste from Google. So we can do the first one together here for pulley. If I Google search pulley definition, I know a lot of students would just then highlight this, copy and paste. Please don't do that. Try to understand and put it in your own words of what is a pulley. And I believe everybody has seen one of these, but how do you put it into words of what's happening here? So it says a hoist with a pulley, or the noun is a wheel with a grooved rim around which a cord passes and it changes the direction of force. So I'm going to just take that, maybe look at another definition to kind of combine what words I'm going to use for it. And so I'm going to say a wheel with a string or cord passing through to change the direction of force. And for the image, you can just go back here, click on images, and any of these would work. You pick the one that you think makes the most sense to you, but I'm going to go with this first one here, lifting up this barrel, and we're going to copy it, paste it in there, and then you can shrink it down if it gets to be too big. And then example. So you have 2 options here. If you know of a pulley example, put it in there. If you're not sure, then we can just put in pulley, and for any of these, real life examples. And so without even looking them up, I can just look in my classroom that I see there's window shades. And so in order to get the shades up, I have to pull down on the string, which then lifts up those window shades. And so that is a pulley. Let's see what else when I search is a real life example. So you can either search through it here. Another quick way is just clicking on images and see what are different ways that pulleys are used. So a flag pull, working out, getting buff, crane, whatever you think it makes the most sense to you. So for me, I'm going to stick to the one that I said in my classroom, window shades. And a non-example. So for this, try to think of an antonym or opposite. So if I click on pulley, antonym, and see what is examples of what a pulley is not. Free, unclog, natural, object, unstuff, how to bring to unblock. All right. And so for this, it might take a minute to search through what is a non-example of a pulley. And so I'm just going to say if you pull something on a string. Just because it's on a string, pulling it doesn't mean it's a pulley. It has to go through that wheel chassis and then change the direction of force. So I've gone through one example that took about 1 or 2 minutes. And so you're going to take time for each of these. to look up the definition, image, example, and non-example. And then at the end of task number 1, remember to do your daily summary, and also take time to look up what is a Rube Goldberg. I encourage you to look up just a couple of videos just to understand what it is. I'm guessing most of you have seen one before, and try your best to explain what are you going to be doing for this Rube Goldberg project.